What's up, everybody? It's Mike Farron. I'm back for an October 2022 Fairfield County, Connecticut market update. It is Halloween time. That means costumes and candy, and of course, being scared by the mass media that the whole real estate market and stock market is all collapsing and falling. We're here to shed some light on that for you guys and actually tell you statistically where we are at. Also, kind of go town for town and tell you about some of the winners and some of the losers as far as the markets and what's hot and what's not. And just get really into the weeds so you guys can have no question as to what the real facts really are. So let's talk about the general and just get the general market out there. No, there is no national housing market. Everything is localized, and that's why you need to be working with experts. But to just talk about the general housing market, yeah, interest rates have gone up on purpose, a self-inflicted wound to slow down the real estate market and cool everything off. Because of that, buyers and buyer demand has slowed. That is because of interest rates. Of course, when the interest rates start to come back down, which they will, obviously the demand will pick all the way back up, and we are still have more demand than we do inventory. So that is outpacing there. So then my overall feel of this whole thing is there is a lot blown up about how bad the real estate market is and how this is a crash. We are not in a crash. This is a self-inflicted slowing down of the real estate market that will absolutely rebound. We are lucky because we are in Fairfield County, Connecticut, and we have some of the best towns in the United States and some of the best properties anywhere. And so we are truly lucky that the value will always remain high, especially with our proximity to New York City. Having said that, let's talk about stats. Let's talk about the data. Let's get into it. Fairfield County, October 2022, we are looking at some stats. 12-month median sale price. 626,000. That is going to be that price is actually going to be up 3% from this time last year in 2021. Year to date closed sale, we're going to be at 6,748 year to date closed sales. That is actually down 23% from October 2021. We are at 7.3 billion year-to-date closed sale volume. That's down 21% from this year, from October 2021. We're at 1,978 properties currently on the market. That is down 24% from this time last year in October. So, what is that telling you? Well, we still have some more data. Closed sales. 2021, 8,735. This year of 6,748. That is a negative 23%. So we're actually down 23%. Then last year we had a lot of sales. Obviously last year record breaking. It was going to slow. And there you go. That's your stat, negative 23%. We're down. Closed sales volume. About 9.2 billion. 2021, we're about 7.2, 7.3 now. That is down 21% from last year, to be expected. Average sale price was 946 in 2021. It is now 990. That is actually up 5%. Medium sale price was 625. It is now 650. That is up 4%. And inventory was 2,500 this time last year. It's 1,900 now. That is down 24%. So we know that closed sales are down, closed sale volumes is down, inventory is down. We know that because we were expecting it to come down with higher interest rates. So it's doing exactly what we thought it would do. These are still, to give you an idea, historically, these are still tremendous historical numbers as far as how we are doing this year. Great year. Just not the insanely overinflated year to 2 years we just came off. So this was all to be expected. So let's talk a little bit about single family home sales and inventory by price range. So the 0 to 800, last year at this time, year to date, we had 5,299 sales. This year we have 4,006. Last year from the 800 to 1.5, we had 1,700. We're at 1,400 this year. 1.5 to 2 million this time last year was at 562. We're at 446. 2 million to 3 million, we're at 605 last year. We're at 419 this year. And the 3 million plus, we're at 476 last year. This year, we're at 409. Now, I want to give you a crazy stat here to kind of blow your mind to give you an idea, right? We're talking 2021 to 2022, some stats here. Check out this number. this is crazy. So listen to the numbers of difference, the differences in these prices and how many sales we had year to date from 2019. The $3 million price point, $3 million and up, we have 409 year to date. We only had 123 in 19. That's insane. In 2019, there were 930 sales in the $800 to $1.5 million. Year to date, we're at 1,486. So you see these numbers. We are so much more still than any normal pre-COVID. So we're still in this big COVID bounce type thing, but it's still just, it's not as high as we were when it was just super inflated. Now let's get into some towns here that have really done some interesting, had a lot of movement here. So let's talk first about the big towns that let's talk about some towns that have seen some big changes in their inventory. So one of these is Bridgeport. That's actually down 30% in its inventory. Darien is down 30% in its inventory. This is year to date. This is 2021 versus 2022. Greenwich is down 21%. Monroe, Connecticut, my hometown, down 36%. That's a ton. Literally almost half, little under half of its inventory were down. New Canaan down 32, New Fairfield down 35, Newtown down 36%, Norwalk down 27, Reading down 27, Ridgefield down 23, Rowayton 25, Shelton down 29, Sherman, Connecticut down 45%, Stamford down 28, Trumbull down 27, Weston down 44%, Westport down 31%, Wilton down 22%, Oxford down 34, Southbury down 23. There are other towns, but that's the notable ones where I saw some big trends there, and I said that is pretty interesting how we have huge differences in the amount of inventory and how low we are. Let's talk a little about year-to-date unit sales. So this is the amount of sales that have happened in the town compared to 2021. Bethel's down 35%. Darien's down 36% in their sales. Easton 27. Greenwich 36. Monroe 28. New Canaan's down 44%. 376 in 2021 to 209 now. 30% in Newtown. 35% in Reading. 25% in Ridgefield. 22% in Shelton. Wilton's down 35% from October 2021. Middlebury's down 26%, Southbury down 22%. Again, there's other towns that have not seen the same effects. I'm just going with some of the outliers, some of the ones that have seen some dramatic changes. Let's talk a little bit about the 12-month median selling price. So this is the change. So the average sale price from, let's say, 2021 to now is super interesting. That the biggest one I see here is Easton is up 23% in its median sale price. That's more than really any other town other than, let's see, Westport, which is up 26%. Another close call on that one. Another close one is Middlebury is at 19%. Everybody else is sitting around the 5 to 10%, maybe a couple in there at 15, but those in there that we just talked about, Easton and Westport, are seeing huge increases in their median sale price. So what this really means for a lot of us out there is if you're a seller, you need to make sure that you are doing the things you can control, which is improving the house to get it perfectly ready for the market. It's absolutely worth it to paint. It's definitely going to be worth it to do virtual staging or staging on the property. Making sure your broker is marketing the property better than anybody else can is so important. But remember that right now we're in this little bit of a standstill because inventory is still really low, but buyers still really want to buy. Sellers are still trying to price their house like it is in that high end or high blow top market where everybody is paying a lot of money for the properties. And they're trying to kind of find a middle ground between, okay, what the market's willing to pay and buyers are willing to pay, and what I'm willing to actually sell my house for. Because to get out of my 3% interest rate of my house to try to go find something I like with, a 7-8% interest rate, I'd really have to be getting a good solid dollar for the property. So we're in this kind of standoff. Sellers, make sure you are working with the right people. Buyers, make sure you are a little bit picky right now because interest rates are going up. However, I want to say this, if you are a buyer and your circumstance leads you to a place where you need to be buying right now, then remember, it's the memories that you're going to make in that property that are really going to set the ROI, so to speak, not the 2 to 5 year price change in the market. Hopefully you're living in a property that you're going to be in, growing a family with, and you're going to be able to outlive any sort of downturn in the market, which I don't think is ever going to see over a 10 to 15% price correction. The 20 to 25 to 50% price corrections are not going to happen. And remember, I'm talking about price corrections that go from crazy high prices to like what we should have had if the 2017, 18, 19 market kept going. Not this crazy, insane, inflated market. You're not going to see a quick dip dive of the property values. Over time, things are going to happen that will slowly start to slow down the market like you're having them see. But keep an eye on a couple things. We talk about this all the time. If you want to keep an eye on what's going on in the real estate market, watch inventory and watch rates. If rates start to go down because the job market starts to kind of creep back up, where the job reports are not going well, you're going to see those interest rates start to drop back. But as long as the job reports keep coming out that it's good and the Fed feels like they can keep dropping the hammer, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12% interest rates, the housing prices are going to start dropping a little bit because demand will slow and sellers will feel like, well, I have no other choice but to move my house price to match the new budget of these buyers. And that's just what's happening. In the high-end luxury market, high-end price points, people who have cash, people who are smart money, know that the asset of real estate, buying a residential property for them and their family to live in, is still a great deal, but they can just be affording to be a little bit more picky now. So if you're a high-end seller, just make sure that its property is marketed to the very best consumers. And if you're a high-end buyer, just make sure you understand completely the ins and outs of the location that you're buying, and then make sure that it's a deal that works for everybody. So that's it. That is my October 2022 market update. I want everybody to go out there, have a great Halloween. Until the next month, take care.